In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is probably one of the more controversial, if not the most controversial topic in model railroading, which is cleaning your track and how to clean your track. So I want to preface that by saying that I'm not going to tell you how or what I think is the best way to do it, because I think are different options out there. There are definitely some options which you probably should not do. And there's some that are very controversial, some that people really like, and some that people really don't like. So let's get into it. One of the more traditional methods is using an abrasive such as a Bright Boy or this Pico track cleaner. On the good side, I guess, is the fact that they are great at removing things like glues and paints. On the bad side, it does scratch up your paint, and those scratches and imperfections in your track will attract dirt and grit, which will affect the running of your train. So in most cases, I would recommend avoiding using this type of device, only if you really have to. And there are other ways of cleaning your track of paint and stuff like that, such as using perhaps a mineral spirit, which once again, some people don't recommend that, and I'll get to that. Or maybe an isopropyl alcohol, and there's good and bad about that as well. Another item that used to be widely used, and I used to use myself, is Goo Gone. Now, while Goo Gone is a great way to clean track, it does have a cleaner in it. It leaves this awful sticky residue, which in turn inhibits good performance of your trains. So I highly recommend that you do not use Goo Gone. Another traditional item, which I never personally used, but do know people who have used it, and also very controversial, not really used widely today, is wall clipper oil. On the one hand, yeah, it can make your rails nice and clean, but it's also an oil. And so if you have any gradient at all, you're going to get a lot of slippage and you're going to lose your tractive effort on your engines. So most people do not recommend it. Also, being an oil, it may attract dust as well to your track. So now let's talk about what are more of the current, I would say, cleaning techniques. And some have been around for quite a while, but they're still somewhat popular. And once again, there's controversy, there's opinions for and against, but I think these ones overall aren't maybe too bad choices. But once again, it's very much based upon opinion. I'm going to leave a link to a whole bunch of videos by different YouTube content creators and their opinions as well, so you can see as well as for yourself and maybe do some of your own research. So I'll start with isopropyl alcohol. It's widely used. One of the complaints is the fact that it's water-based, and so it can actually be a potential oxidizer. What I recommend on it, if you are going to use it to clean your track, is to wipe off your track and then maybe wipe again to make sure you get anything off and make sure there's no isopropyl residue left, but it will clean your track. So one product that has become quite controversial, I'd say, some people love it, and some people either don't want to use it or hate it, is NOAX ID Special. And on the one hand, you've got Ron from Ron's Trains and Things. It's one of the videos I'll leave in the comment section. He's used it and he's had good success with it. I'll take his word for it, and I've actually tried it myself. And I've had mixed results, so I won't get into that, and I've kind of given up on it, but he's had good results with it. On the other hand, you've got Larry Puckett, who says he will not use it based upon what he's heard from his friends. Larry Puckett has the Model Railroading channel. And there's also Steve Brown with It's My Railroad, and he used it, and he says that it did nothing but attract dirt and gunk to his rails. So he's got various opinions there. So I'll leave it up to you. You can watch these videos and you can try it. I would just caution you that, in my opinion, there is no miracle cure of how to keep your track clean all the time. Now, to further add to the controversy of NOAX ID, is that Ron also, before he used it, he used mineral spirits to clean his rail and then wipe it down before he would add the NOAX ID. Now, on the other hand, Larry Puckett says don't use that, or he highly recommends not to use it, or if you do, be very cautious because it is very highly flammable and it could produce a flash flame. So if you are going to use it in your house, I would recommend highly ventilating the area if you have an open window or something like that, or maybe not use that as an option, but it can be highly dangerous. So use extreme caution if you are going to use mineral spirits. Now, furthermore, with regards to potentially newer methods, is Larry Puckett of the Model Railroading channel came across another thing called NOAXit. which is similar to NOx ID, but it doesn't have the grease portion. It is actually a liquid, and it's a liquid concentrate that you can buy, and then you dilute it with isopropyl alcohol, I believe, and then you wipe down your rails with it, or you put it on some sort of a track cleaning device or something like that. He says that some of his friends in the railroading or model railroading community have used it with great success, and he is testing it now, I believe. I haven't heard results from him on it, but it may be a viable option. It might be something you want to look into, but at this point, I have no opinion on it either way. So at this point, you're probably saying, crazy train guy, all you've done is confuse me more on how to clean my track. And I hope I haven't done that, but what I've tried to do here is offer what I've seen and heard in the industry. What are the options? So here's some simple ideas. What I would recommend are things you can do to very simply keep your track clean. The very simplest one of all is what many guys will tell you is, you know what, just run your trains. Now that's easier said than done. Sometimes we get away from the hobby and such, but if you run your trains often, that will keep your track pretty clean overall. Now on the other option, what I always do before every operating session is I take a non-lint cloth and I go over all the rails on the railroad. And it's a fair bit of work, but you know what? It's amazing how much a difference that makes to how the train's running. It gets all the dust off and gunk. And if you have to go over something a little more of a cleaner, such as say isopropyl alcohol or whatever you want to use, just make sure, like I said, in the case of that, make sure you get the residue off when you're done. But if you need something stronger than just a cloth, you can use that. Another thing that Larry Puckett recommended is to use some sort of a non-abrasive thing, like he uses like a piece of cork or something like that. Just something that you can glide over the rail, and it'll, you know, it's stiff enough that it should pick up any gunk as well. So there are some simple options there for you, and things I would recommend trying first and see how that works for you before you get into anything a little more complicated. Hope this helped you out. And like I said, check out the videos I left the links for. These guys all are experienced model railroaders, and they have their own opinions. Everybody's got an opinion how to do something. So I recommend watching all these videos and checking them out. And there are many, many more if you Google them on YouTube. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw and wish to see more content on model trains and real trains, please subscribe to my channel.